What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm going to be telling you guys about the time that one of my kid from our school got into a fight with one of the gym teachers. Yeah, it's going to be one of those kind of stories, the exciting ones. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Make sure to like the video and subscribe for more content like this. Anyway, let's hop right into it. So, I don't know if you guys' schools do this where they bring a bunch of kids like into the gymnasium at least once a year, and like it's a ton of activities. They're called like pep rallies. They're pretty stupid actually. Like I really don't feel most of the time they do them before vacations as well, so it's like I really don't feel like spending the next 2 hours of this day, like last 2 hours before I get to go on a week of vacation, sitting here in a sweaty gym while I hear a bunch of kids scream about the fact that they can't play red light green light correctly. Actually, one time did win a game of the pep rally. I won a game of red light, green light. Not gonna brag all that much. I was pretty much a local hero for a few days because of that. Anyway, so during one of these pep rallies, during the virus a few years ago, I don't think I can say the real version of it on YouTube, but during one of those years, we had to do it outside. You can't really get into close quarters with each other, 20 feet, or 6 feet, whatever it was, I don't remember. But yeah, basically, we had to do it outside just for safety stuff. And because of that, a lot of kids were like able to do some like more questionable stuff because like it's not as compact, and most of the teachers can't really like, keep a closer eye on you because they're all spread out. But we did it up at our football field, which had a bunch of bleachers. And the way that it was set up was that each grade was sitting in like a different section of the bleachers. And since I think this was during my sophomore year, most likely, I think. And during that time, like we were sitting in the middle of everyone. So like we had obviously the freshmen on our left and then the juniors on our right and the seniors like all the way at the end. So that's how it was kind of set up. And we're kind of chilling. And there was this one kid. I'm gonna call him for the purpose of this story. We're gonna call him Richard. Yeah, we're gonna call him Richard. I don't know, cause he was a dick. Anyway, that's a joke that I hope a lot of you got. Anyway, so Richard was a bit of an interesting case. This man, he wasn't really like he was a big troublemaker at our school. I'll say that he didn't really get into fights per se, but like he mostly got into like arguments with teachers and stuff like that. He'd be the kid who always yelled at the teachers. I think at one point during like our middle school year, he actually made a teacher cry because he was like insulting her so much. But I wasn't there for that, and I don't know much about it, so I don't know if that's ever gonna be a story. But this kid, just to like set this all up, this kid wasn't really the most like well liked by the staff members there. He was pretty popular with the kids though, obviously. If you're enough of a nuisance to make a teacher cry, at some point, like everyone's gonna think you're pretty cool. So anyway, this kid was kind of like escalating his stuff that he was doing, and ever since high school, it was getting a bit out there. And this was back in I think 20 I don't remember 20 maybe wow, I actually can't remember. Maybe like 2019 or something, 2018, around that time. It was around, I just remember it was around that time when like everyone was getting ready for the 2020 elections, or like for the recap votes. You know how like the midterms you have to they do that again, and it was around that time. So during this time, a lot of people were voting for had those signs where it was like Trump 2020, which is going to become very important later on. But yeah, so our protagonist of the story, Richard, he was across from me at the bleachers, and so like every time that we would go to look at like the other team, obviously I'd be able to look over at him because like he was in my peripheral vision. At one point, I see him and his friends lifting up a giant like flag that said Trump 2020, one of those flags. It was kind of funny, like obviously these kids are way too young to be like into politics, or like but not that young, but like it's one of those things where it's like, oh, it's one of those things where you can't really take it seriously, like their opinion on it, because it's like, oh, you're like you're not even you're not even halfway through high school yet. I don't really trust your ability to judge who should be leading our country right now. whatever. They're hanging that sign up. It's pretty funny, honestly, because like it's high school, so no one's taking it uberly seriously. Everyone's just kind of like laughing about the fact that this man is just literally sitting there hanging a giant sign that just says like Trump 2020. Everyone thinks it's a funny joke, but I guess one of the teachers was like a little annoyed about it, and for the purpose of the story, we're gonna call her Miss A. So Miss A is yelling at Richard to put down that sign because like it's disrupting the pep rally, which like it is kind of true. Like he's waving a giant flag in front of him. He was not in the back, by the way. He was in like near the front. So like he was putting the flag in front of a ton of people. So probably a good amount of people couldn't see, but like let's be honest, no one cared. Um so like she's yelling at him to put it down. And Miss A was a gym teacher, so obviously she had a very mixed popularity poll. I'm sorry if any gym teachers in the audience are watching right now. Most of the time most of the time it's either a half and half with gym teachers. Either they are some of the coolest people ever, or yeah, not a lot of people like you. A lot of people call you a douche canoe. One of the two things. So we're just gonna say she was the latter. So Miss A was yelling at him to put it down, and of course, like he's trying to get like a riot out of her, like a reaction. He's like yelling at her like, "Oh, what? Do you not support my belief?" Or like, "Oh, this is this is what I believe in. Like, I should be able to hang this." Which is, I mean, yeah, technically true. Like, yes, you should be allowed to do that, but like, also you are hanging a giant flag in a public school, which I'm pretty sure there is actually a rule. No, that's actually, I think it's a rule that, like, politics in school. I don't remember. It might be. Or that might be religion. I can't remember. That was weird. Why the hell did the game do that? Anyway, and I died, of course. So, anyway, he's hanging the thing and she's like telling him to take it down. And I think at one point, like, a lot of kids are obviously paying attention to that now because like honestly if she didn't draw any attention to it, I think more people were paying attention now to this than they were the actual pep rally, which before like yeah obviously they were paying attention to it but like not as much. And so she's yelling at him to put it down, and at one point you can tell like even she's starting to have like see it as a joke, but I guess like it went a little too far because Miss A comes up there and she decides to try snatching the flag out of his hand, which I think was a joking gesture at that point because like she was kind of laughing, and so was I. Like so were a lot of kids. Like a ton of kids were pretty much laughing at that point because it is funny. This man's being told to take down his flag. He's being yelled at, and it's pretty. It's like a funny thing. So like everyone's laughing about it, and she comes up while everyone's like not paying attention, and she snatches the flag and just guns it. Starts sprinting away. But one thing about Richard that you gotta know is I said he was popular. But one of those other reasons that he was popular was because this kid was actually pretty athletic. I'm pretty sure he was on like I think he was on most of the like major teams at our school. So like most of the major sport teams. So he was pretty athletic. So he was able to keep up with her. And she runs out onto the field, and Miss A is trying to like sprint away, getting away from this kid. And Richard just full on sprints after her and just at one point finally gets his hands on her and just tackles her to the ground. And obviously at that point like everyone was laughing when they started chasing each other, but the second that they see him tackle her, you can hear like an audible like from the crowd. Like everyone was shocked at that point. Like that was something that no one was expecting. And obviously after that, like it's all fun and games until the teacher gets tackled. So Miss A is like now a little mad, and he takes his flag back, but he like hangs it as if he got a victory. Obviously his friends are hyping him up, and so are like a good amount of kids, but other kids are like, oh my God, he is about to get in so much trouble. So anyway, the pep rally kind of devolves at that point because like it gets into the two of them like yelling at each other at on the field. You can see a kid yelling at a teacher down at the field. I think maybe one or two like I think some insults were thrown. I think at one point he called I think Richard called like his mom gay LMAO, and I think she fired back with maybe his IP address. I can't remember. Maybe that might have been the insults being thrown back and forth. Maybe it might have also been like he was like I think also like she was throwing like teacher insults out actually. No, it was yeah, it was a pretty tame like argument. Like it wasn't really a fight. It wasn't really a fight at first, but it was like mostly just like stupid insults at each other. Like Richard wasn't really throwing anything out at her. I think he was mostly just like doing the stupid things where it's like, "Oh, you're dumb." And I think she was firing back with like the teacher insults. So it's not actually like real insults. It's more like, "Oh yeah, well, your grades aren't all that good. It's like, cool, cool. How does that have anything to do with the fact that I just tackled you in the middle of a football field? That has nothing to do with that. I don't care that my geometry grade isn't that good. I calculate the amount of time that it took me to run from half across the field and then tackle you onto the ground. Calculate that real quick. Cool. Anyway, it was pretty funny. So we like hear them arguing, and I think at one point I think at one point like he shoves her, and at that point the other teachers start coming in there because like now it looks like it's about to devolve into a fight, and like they're like yelling a bit, and then they eventually get dragged away, and at that point the pep rally just kind of like dissipates because like at that point, how are you expecting these kids to focus on the fact that there's a donut race on the field? I'm sorry, I like Dunkin' Donuts, but like I'm not paying attention to the fact that Jimmy John over there just managed to grab the last glazed donut out of the box and sprint it across the field. That's impressive, but you know what else was impressive? The fact that this guy was able to sprint half across the field and tackle the gym teacher. That was also pretty impressive. So whatever. Everyone's kind of going inside now, and I guess like he was pretty mad because like uh, I heard this later, but apparently Richard also went into a class and like tore like started like tearing some of her like posters. Like you know how the teachers have like the weird posters on the wall. I think he tore one of them off the wall and like threw it on the ground. And that was what like eventually I think broke the camel's back. And instead of just getting like a 1 day suspension, I think he got like a few days, which was like a little weird, but like whatever. I think he got like a week suspension, which is you know for what he did, like you know trying to fight the gym teacher and then ending up like trashing a bit of her classroom, like that's kind of tame. Like that's not that bad. But apparently that wasn't enough because I think the exact next day they obviously I told you earlier that this kid was in sports and he tried showing up to his sports like the practice, which is like obviously like, oh, you can't do that, you've been suspended, you can't come to a after school program, you have to like you just can't do that. But like he was trying to, I think he tried arguing back because like obviously I'm not in sports, but this is what I've heard secondhanded. But like apparently he still tried to like say like, oh, I should be allowed to come. Like he tried like arguing his case. But like as he's arguing with them and like trying to say like, oh, I should be allowed, this is like this isn't fair and stuff like that. I think well, I told you this earlier, but Miss A was a gym teacher, so of course she was one of the coaches, and she comes out and she sees him arguing and she just starts yelling at him to go home, it's over, like obviously like, and then like at that point I think he just left, so like that's fair enough, whatever. I think he came back to school a little later, but I think he got suspended again because he did something else, and I'm not sure when this happened, but eventually I think he got expelled. um Either that or just stop showing up to school. I'm not in like the drama loop. I don't really know. He might have been expelled, but I have seen him a few times like while I'm pulling out of the school, you know, like driving home. I've seen him a few times. It's kind of weird, but like whatever. Like if he wasn't like if he is just like skipping school, why are you like coming to school like to pick up your friends? Cuz I don't think he has siblings. I don't know if Richard has siblings. But whatever, Miss A was like mad about that, and it was pretty funny. So yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it for this video. That's how this kid tried fighting the gym teacher. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to hit that like button down below. You know, that lets me know that you guys like the video. Subscribe and turn on notifications so that you get notified every time I make a new video. You know, I'm trying to grow the channel a bit. Thank you guys for the support on some of these videos. Actually, they've been getting some pretty good likes. I'm feeling happy about that. Thank you for doing the comments as well. I've been getting some people doing the comments. Um, and for this video, if you got this far into it, let's comment football. Yeah, yeah, football. Yeah, we'll go with that. So yeah, if you got this far into it, comment football. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.